welcome. We are so excited to have the amazing Simon Hurley with us today to answer a few questions about. He has a lot of secrets apparently about the stamp
Of
wheels.
course.
I don't know if he'll give them out today, but he may show a sneak peek because somebody said I just saw a sneak peek. Simon may have a sneak peek too. So welcome, Simon.
Hey, Bridget, I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to be here with everyone as well and answer some questions and talk about the upcoming class.
And also, Simon has special discount codes as well that give you more money off. So, for joining Simon today and going to his social media, you get a little bit extra of a discount. So, make sure to check that out. So, Simon, how did you start crafting? How did you get into crafting?
Yeah, so I started crafting when I was 12, which is crazy. I'm 21 now, so it's been quite some time in the crafting industry. And I really just started when I was little. I was kind of a really crafty kid. I would roll paper to make paper bead earrings for my mom. I would crochet my own stuffed animals, and I would always go to the craft stores and things like that. And so I came across different kinds of inks, and then I kept making lots of different backgrounds using the inks. And then I was like, well, what do I do with these backgrounds, right? So I looked it up on social media. I found videos from Jennifer McGuire and Christina Warner and instantly fell down the rabbit hole of card making. I went out and bought a couple of supplies the next day, and really the rest is kind of just history. I started sharing pictures on Instagram, and then I started sharing videos shortly thereafter, probably a year after, and just kind of found this amazing community. But really it started with just, going to the craft store and finding inks and falling in love from there with the whole hobby.
And just put the codes in the chat so you guys have those. We have Simon Deluxe. You get $70 off. It was 50, but because you're with Simon, it's 70. And the regular is 50, and it was only 30. So just for joining with Simon, you get a little bit extra. So I wanted to get those in there.
That's awesome.
Hello, Simon, and your mom. People are saying hello to your mom to Simon as well. So you can pass those greetings on. It's funny you say Christina Warner and Jennifer McGuire, because I think they are the gateway into the crafting community for, I would say, 99.9% of people. That's how they found crafting. And
Totally.
you mentioned backgrounds. You still do a lot of beautiful backgrounds. So that's kind of stuck with you through all these years.
Thanks. Yeah, I fell in love with the idea of inks, and really one of my favorite companies for ink was Ranger. And so the crazy part is the first ink pad that I used was Ranger's ink, and then 5 years later I signed with Ranger and came out with my own line of inks, which is nuts. So it was really a full circle moment for me. But that has always been kind of my love for card making, is the backgrounds and the stencils and inks and the pastes and stuff like that as well that we've sort of come out with as well. I think that is my favorite thing because they make so many techniques.
So at 17, you were designing your own ink pads. Is that
16,
wild to you? Is
16, yeah, it's
that like
crazy.
crazy?
Crazy, yeah. I think it was a surreal moment for me too, because I never expected that it would happen. I never really set out on this route to have a career in this industry. And so when I was 16 and I came out with the inks and I was still in school, it would be I would, fly to a trade show and show off the inks and then go right back to school and right on the plane to do my homework. So it was nuts. It was crazy.
I can imagine. School's a little busy anyways, and then
Yeah.
add in that you have this new job and you're working with a large company in the industry. That's a lot. That's a
Yeah,
lot
it was
going
it was
on.
nuts. My school was really good with letting me they knew what was going on, and so the principal would always kind of let me do work or fly to different trade shows if I needed to. I remember there was one event that was in Wisconsin and Gina K was there, and it was in the middle of the school day for me, and I just got up and I was like, I need to go. I gotta go to this. And so my principal let me go because they knew what was going on. And so then I got to go to that wonderful event as well. So it was kind of this, crazy, crazy life to be living at 16.
It's amazing you had supportive people that helped you on your journey, because the school could have been like, no, you can't miss school. So we are very thankful your school was so willing to share you with the crafty community.
Totally.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bonnie thought I was your mom. Bonnie, sadly, I am old enough to be Simon's mom. My son is 27, so I am
That's
old
awesome.
enough to be Simon's mom. So, but that's okay. It's all right. It's
That's
okay.
great. It's great. But yeah, my mom does join me in a couple videos and things like that. So a lot of people do know her as well.
Yes, I've seen her. She's been learning how to use different that's so I love that.
Mhm.
That's awesome. I love that
Yeah.
she's getting involved. Now, does she know the stamp wheel secrets?
She doesn't know the stamp wheel secrets. However, I think she did. She saw the stamp wheel when I first like showed it to her because I was so excited about it when I got it at the beginning of this year and like all the different things you could do with it. And she thought it was a super cool tool as well. Just like the amount of things you could do with it.
Yeah.
Usually, I show her like the product reviews that I do before they go up and see if it's good. And yeah, she loved it. She thought it was a really cool tool. And it's quickly become one of my favorite things actually too. I use it a lot with stencils when I'm stenciling.
It's amazing that it takes the place of so many things, like, that you had in your
Mhm,
space and so many tools you had, and it's all in one. And it's
mhm,
I love that you can take the sticky mat. I've seen you do this. You take the sticky mat out, you can use it on its own, and it's for blending, it's amazing. It really is
totally, yeah.
amazing. Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite medium? Is it ink blending? Is that your favorite kinda go-to?
I would say my lunar paste is probably my favorite recently. I
Mm.
love lunar and solar paste just because you can do so many different things with it, and I love the shine that it gives. I was never like the biggest fan of foiling because of the amount of steps that goes into it. And so when we came out with lunar paste, it almost gives you that look of foiling, but like one simple step to just put it on your cardstock and let it dry, right? And so that's kind of been my favorite thing recently. But I would say inks too. Inks are just a staple, to have in the collection to be able to stamp or ink blend with. There's a lot of different things you could do with them.
And it's great too because you can combine them in different ways. Like, you can, put
Right.
colors together maybe you didn't think worked well together, and you have a new color. And that's what I love about the inks is that they're so versatile, and you can
Totally.
do, different ink blending, different ways. You can watercolor. I mean, there's just so much stuff you can do. Inks are one of the most versatile. No, so we usually ask the question, what's your one favorite tool? And then it usually in these interviews spreads to 3, and then it started being categories. So, what is your one favorite? Now, I know you love your stamp wheel, but is there another favorite? We'll assume the stamp wheel's there, but do you have another favorite tool that you just cannot live without when you're crafting?
I don't want to be boring. I was gonna say inks and pastes. Those are like my favorites,
That's not
really.
boring though. You're very
Yeah.
colorful that way. That's
Exactly. To me, those are like a tool. And I always tell people when they first start, like, if you're investing in something, you have to invest in what you think you're going to use most. So for me, it would be inks because I love making backgrounds. But if someone's going to like pattern paper more and they're going to use that more, then invest in that. But for me, it's like a rainbow of inks, maybe like 6 or 7 colors to start out with, is like the best investment you could do because you could do so much with it. To me, that's a tool.
And I remember in the beginning, I invested in not so good inks because you don't know, like, when you
Right.
first start out, and that's kind of my advice too, is invest in good supplies because you're
Mhm.
paying a little bit more now, but they last, and you
Right.
don't have to keep replacing them, which is just horrible when you have to keep replacing supplies. You don't wanna do that. You want it to last and be there for you, so, yeah.
Totally, yeah, and that's kind of why, like, I love making videos and things like that, and that's why I love having a product line too, is because I can make sure to, like, vet the products before we release them, and so, like, I know that my lunar pastes are quality, I know they don't dry out really quickly like some other pastes do. Same thing with the inks, it's like, we really make sure the quality is there before I recommend it, and that way, like, the money that you're spending on any sort of supplies is, like, money well spent because you're not gonna have to rebuy it in 4 years or, something like that.
And it's nice when you know you can be confident in a brand, where if you
Mhm.
see the brand, you know it's been tested, you know it's gone, you know the people are crafters, they know what, because there are sometimes things that crafters get, and the people that design them really aren't crafters, so it's kind of harder. So it's nice when a crafter designs a product for a crafter. It makes it a
Totally.
lot easier to use.
Yeah, yeah, because you just think of those little, like, nuanced things that, like, a crafter would want in that product, whereas, you could sort of tell if a product isn't designed by a crafter because they didn't think of those little things.
It's like the stamp wheel, it's got the sticky mat, it's got the lines, it's got,
Mhm.
all these little things. It's because it was tested by crafters for a very long time before we actually got it in our hands. I remember we kept seeing sneak peeks and we're like, "Come on, give us the
Right.
stamp wheel." But it's good, it goes through all the testing because by the time we get it, it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Sherry said, "You're not boring at all." She said, "Inks were my first big crafting investment as well."
Oh, that's amazing, Sherry. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It's one of the best things you could spend money on right at the beginning.
Do you have a favorite ink color in your line?
Favorite ink color?
Is there
Oh,
one you
let me see.
always reach for?
Yes, there is one that I always reach for. There's like there's a couple that I always reach for, but
Okay, we can
this
go
one's
to
one of my favorite. This one's called Prom Queen. It's one of my favorite colors. Speaking of my mom, actually, my mom came up with this color and designed it and named it and everything like that. It was for like a Mother's Day release at the very beginning of my line, and so this color has been one of my favorites, not just because my mom made it, but it like blends so beautifully with everything. It's super bright. It goes along with a lot of the other bright colors that I use really well. So this is usually in a lot of the projects that I use, and then I blend it with like either yellows and oranges, or you could also do like blues and purples. So there's a lot of different ways that pink can kind of fit in.
Now I can't remember, did prom queen make it into the class?
Prom Queen, it might have. It probably is in
It
there.
might have.
I think
I
it is.
almost think it might have made it into
Hmm.
the class.
I think
We'll
so.
have to see. Oh, Rachel would like to know, do you have a favorite paper for ink blending?
Oh yeah, my so we released a cardstock called Simon Hurley Struck White cardstock, and it's not my favorite just because my name is on it. I promise. But it's like super bright white and it's like really nice and thick too. It's 110 pounds. So I use this in all my videos. I use it for ink blending, watercoloring. Anything that you see that's a white cardstock is usually this. I don't even use watercolor cardstock anymore because of how well that takes water. So that's
Oh,
why I like it so much. Yeah. Whenever
oh.
you see me watercolor or whatever, it's always on that Struck White cardstock. And it takes the inks beautifully too.
Let's see. It said, "Was your mom a crafter? Is that why you caught the crafting bug?"
She sort of was a crafter. She was a teacher, so she did a little bit of scrapbooking, and then it just became a little bit too much. So she handed down some of her scrapbooking supplies to me, but she wasn't like a super big crafter. But I know it was kind of a bigger thing, to scrapbook and things like that. And so she sort of passed down some of those supplies.
So in our community, what's your favorite thing about the crafting community?
I think just like the support of everyone, I think that it's amazing to see like even us coming together today. Like it's two different brands, two different companies coming together to create this class, which I think is amazing. You don't usually see that in many industries, so I
Yeah.
think that's what's so cool about it is that like behind the scenes, I think there's a lot of support between different brands and companies, and even like just creators. If you like post your card online, I know there's going to be a lot of people that will support it, and there's a lot of different communities, and so when I first got into crafting, I didn't know about all of the community behind the scenes, but it's like it's an amazing surprise to come into to just have such a supportive group of people behind you.
And it's nice too, like if you get stuck on a project, sometimes you just can't figure out what you're missing, you can post and everybody's like, "Hey, here, like try this or try that." It's such a supportive community for everything, even if you have life events. I mean, it's just amazing. Um, why do you love the stamp wheel?
Why do I love the stamp wheel? I have a whole review on the stamp wheel. If you want to see the review, definitely check it out on YouTube. Just search up my name, Simon Hurley, and stamp wheel or something, and it should come up. I actually have two videos on it right now. It's really awesome because, of course, you could do the regular stamping with it. You could rotate it, which can create really cool kind of wreath designs. And then my other favorite thing is that you can use it with stencils. So that sticky mat in the bottom of it was like Ultimate was the first brand to create that sort of photopolymer sticky mat in the bottom, and it's just so innovative. It's really amazing. It holds down stencils and cardstock and really everything that you need. And you guys recently came out with like the ultra sticky version, which is so nice. It really
Yeah.
stays sticky for an incredibly long amount of time, which is awesome.
And I love just a little water because I when it released, I got mine and I dumped a whole thing of embossing powder on it. I'm like,
Ooh,
"Oh," and I just
yeah.
okay, ran to the sink in a panic and it beautifully and it's sticky
Mhm.
again, it's gorgeous. It's almost like you condition it, the more you wash it, the more you use it, the more sticky it gets almost.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful.
Yeah, it's really great. Just run under water and it's all nice and clean, which is awesome.
So, what are the biggest rewards do you get out of your crafting?
The biggest reward? I don't. I love the job that I have right now because it's amazing that I can go one day and be like crafting, and the other day I can design products, and the next day I could go live and on YouTube with you, and so it gives me something different every day, which I think is super rewarding. I think with crafting, the rewarding part is that like you're starting off with just a piece of cardstock, and you turn it into such a beautiful piece of artwork, and then the double reward on that is that like you had fun while crafting, but you can also send it out to someone and make them smile too. So I think that's the really special part about card making.
I totally agree. I always go back to Nabil. He said in a I think it was in a podcast, he's like, "Crafters are the people that wake up every day to do something for somebody else. They make a
Right.
card to give to somebody, to give them comfort or joy, or and that's always stuck with me when Nabil had said that. So,
Yeah,
um,
and I think the amazing part too is that you're doing it for someone else, but you're also doing it for yourself, and
yes.
so it's so, like it's such a double reward that you're doing is, like, you're kind of, putting that joy for yourself to create something, and then you're giving it to someone else, which I think is even more amazing. Yeah, super cool.
And I talk to a lot of crafters, and a lot of them, this is their self-care. This is how they
Mhm.
take care of themselves, is having this time to create and to get, their inspiration out there. And I always tell new crafters, please create and please share because it's so inspiring. I know a lot of new crafters are nervous. It doesn't look like Simon Hurley's, and I can't share it because it doesn't look like that. But we each need our own person to come into the crafting industry. We each add our own unique flavor. And I think that's, I try to inspire younger crafters to do that because, it's inspiring. I know, like when you see your products, how do you feel when you see cards created with something you designed?
Yeah, it's amazing. I really encourage everyone to post because even if it's not the most well-lit picture or something, you guys all have something so, incredible to offer, whereas, like, I'll use a product because I designed it and I know sort of what I meant it for, right? But then someone else will take that product and be like, "Well, this is what I see in it." And they'll post a card that's completely different than what I thought of, but in its own right, just absolutely amazing. And so I've seen, like, some project that people create and I'm like, all right, can I share that and, like, credit you because it's amazing. And so, you guys sharing your ideas too is so incredible. And even if you don't think that it's perfect, it doesn't need to be really. It's amazing to see everyone's ideas.
It's fun. It's fun to see where people can go with it. And we were kind of talking about that before, like taking a die set and using it for what it's not created for, and it
Hmm.
really pushes the supplies out. And it's inspiring to others because then maybe I'll invest in that, maybe I'll create. So it inspires more creating, which we love.
Yeah, definitely.
So Cheryl wants to know, so we can give kind of an overview a little bit, kind of what are we going to learn in this class? We can't reveal all the secrets here, but what's like something that they'll learn in the class?
Yeah, I can say you're gonna learn pretty much everything about the stamp wheel that there is to know. You're gonna learn about all the different tools and add-ons as well, but then mainly just like every little technique that you could do with the stamp wheel. I think we're gonna create a lot of different backgrounds and then turn some of them into cards and sort of share card making techniques as well. So you'll get a lot of little tips and tricks along the way like you usually do in my videos, but really we're gonna be focusing heavily on the stamp wheel. So if you've purchased a stamp wheel or you're looking into getting a stamp wheel, this is a great class to, like, just learn all about it and all the different ways and techniques that you can use it, which is going to be amazing.
And it's so you get 3 days and you get a live too. You get to craft live with Simon, which is very exciting. So that's the point too, where you can ask questions. You can ask questions on the 3 days as well, but you can also that day, you'll come in, Simon will be crafting, I'll be behind the badge, and you can ask questions to Simon as you're crafting, which is wonderful. And speaking of which, Simon and I kind of made a decision. Simon has the kits. So Simon was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
share
Can I
something.
share something?
There are pictures on the website, but we
Right.
figured we'd let Simon share one thing today for all of the amazing viewers
All
that
right.
joined us for the interview. So,
I'm going to share this. This is probably my favorite. There's like, okay, I'm going to show you the back of the packaging. Check out how incredible that is. There's so many different florals and things like that on here. Super cool. And so I think, like we're saying, but I think even the more exciting part about class than just me, because I'm not that exciting, is that you get a whole kit that Alternate designed, and they did a phenomenal job. There's tons of products in here. It is packed with exclusive products, so you're not going to be seeing these products anywhere else, which is so exciting. And each one of these products is going to work really beautifully inside of the stamp wheel as we did the different techniques. And let me just tell you, they're absolutely stunning. I love them. The Altenew design team does such an amazing job.
and Simon had input too. Simon gave us some input on some stuff. So we have some of Simon's touches in there as well.
Mhm.
And I think when you see this kit, you say, yes, it's all new, but you look at it and go, this is Simon too. Like it's Simon's kind of style. Now, what would you say your style is? Because when I saw the kit, I'm like, that's Simon. But what
Yeah.
would you say your style is?
I would say my style is pretty clean and simple, but like when you can see a product and you're like, oh, that like I can see an inky technique with that. I think that's really my style. It's just like the techniques and using the different mediums along with the products. I think is my favorite. So like layering stencils. I know I've specifically requested a layering stencil in this because those are some of my favorites. So you're gonna, yeah, definitely see a little bit of my style in here and lots of alt news as well, with different backgrounds and the different products that are included. It's super cool.
And the paste will never be seen again. So if you don't get this, the paste never to be seen again.
Wait,
You
the
can't get
paste
it
might be seen
anywhere.
again. The paste might be seen again. I don't know if we did an exclusive color in here.
Oh, I
So the
thought we
paste
did an
might be
exclusive color, but I'm pretty sure we're exclusive on the color of the paste, I think. So,
okay.
yeah, I think the paste is never to be seen again. So, make sure if you're interested. And absolutely, there is still so much room in the class for you guys. We want to make sure
Yes.
everybody gets in that wants to. We extended the early bird discount, but Simon's is a little bit more. So don't forget, we have Simon Regular, which will take off 50, and Simon Deluxe, which will take off 70. So that make sure to sign up with those codes because we want you to save that money. And if you already have the stamp wheel, get the regular bundle. That does not have the stamp wheel. The Deluxe comes with the stamp wheel. Additionally, there's an add-on of alt new colors that match the colors Simon's going to use. He's going to use Simon Hurley inks. So we put together a bundle of alt new inks that match those. If you want to get those, if you don't have those already, and if you can't do it that day, these are recorded. Even the live session is recorded, and you get to keep these forever. So 15 years from now, you could go back and watch Simon and do this class again if you wanted to. And that's the great thing with the recordings. You'll have recordings, you'll have a PDF. There's a Facebook group coming where you can share all your creations. You can ask questions like if after the class you're like, Simon, what is going on? This isn't working for me. So yeah, make sure when the emails come out to sign up for that Facebook group. The code is Simon Regular for $50 off the regular kit, and Simon Deluxe, and that's for $70 off the deluxe kit, which is the stamp wheel kit. So if you already have the stamp wheel, we planned for that because we know so many of you already have the stamp wheel and love it. But we want you to be able to get these extra special secrets that Simon has. So we did put those two kits. There we go. Couldn't think of the word. I was going to say codes. We put those two kits together so that you would have those options. Yes, definitely check out the class. There's some videos with Simon. It's on the
Yes.
Altanu site. It's absolutely, I mean, all the Altanu classes are fun. But this one, the products in this one are they always outdo themselves. So, but this one, the products, I'm in love. I just am in
Mhm.
love with the products in this kit because they extend they extend past the class. They're going to be something that you'll reach for in the future again and again. I put the link in there. Yes, have and love the stamp wheel. We
That's
love the
awesome.
stamp wheel.
Yes, it does such amazing techniques. I think that's gonna be such a fun part about this class.
Now, do you have like particular projects or like a technique that you're kind of working on now that you're not kind of so confident in?
I think that with every video that I do, there's always something like that, that it's not doesn't end up perfect or I have to retry it a couple of times. I think that's the really cool part about crafting is like sometimes you might need to do a technique several times in order to get it right, and you might only see the finished result, or maybe I ended up showing the kind of edits in the video as well. But there's a lot of different phases that like videos will go through before they get uploaded. And so I might be working on a video for like 2 weeks before it ever, sees the light of day. And so I think there's always a little bit of a struggle with some techniques, but once you get it down, it's really nice and easy.
And how do you stay inspired? Because you do a lot of projects. So how do you stay inspired and how do you not get like in the copy mode where you're kind of making the same card all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always get into like a little bit of a rut sometimes. That I always find myself in that like every other week, pretty much. So don't beat yourself up if you ended up feeling a little bit uninspired. I think I start cleaning my craft room. That can sometimes remind you of some of the older things you have, or like sometimes I'll go in and I'll just try a card layout that I'm used to doing, but I'll incorporate like one new product or something, or I'll do something a little bit different, or try a technique that I saw online. And I think that's kind of the way that you stay out of that rut. And also the products that I design too, those allow me to like if there's something new that came out, it allows me to do something a little bit different than I usually would with it.
Now, do you get more inspired if you have less supplies, or do you do better having more? Do you get overwhelmed having more supplies, or
Um, it depends. I kind of have my core grouping of supplies, and I like to introduce like new tools or different things like that if it's going to make the the process easier. That's why I like to in the stamp wheel and introduce it. But if I see a tool that's like, oh, this might just make it a little bit more difficult, then I usually don't go for it. I tend to kind of keep a limited amount of supplies around me at all times. But then there's always new things like stencils and stamps that kind of keep coming through.
and you guys get to know first. We just this was just decided. The live will be on December 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, this will be in the Facebook group. This will be in emails. This will be in Ultimate Academy. We'll have the date and time everywhere. So just to make sure. And it is a weekend day. I believe it's a Sunday. Because I believe we're releasing on I believe the 8th is a Friday. So I believe it's a Sunday. So hopefully lots of folks will be able to attend live and come craft live with Simon. So what do you think, where do you think your crafting journey is going? Do you have like a vision now? Or do you, like in 10 years, what would Simon Hurley like to be doing?
Honestly, I have no idea. That is that like, I usually don't look too much further than, like, a week in advance. We plan products pretty far in advance, but, like, usually I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing or what the format might change into. Over the years, you'll see, like, a big shift in my content, like, I started doing short form videos and stuff like that about 2 years ago when it just became popular, and, my videos on YouTube have gotten a lot longer as well. They're, like, 30 to 50 minutes sometimes, and so I find that, yeah, things change every day. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow even, but, I don't know. I don't know exactly where I see the journey. I can tell you that we do have a lot of products planned out though, and this next year is gonna be, I think, a really fun one. We've got a lot of amazing stuff coming.
That's very exciting. It is. I'm like you. I think I maybe plan a day in advance. And
Yeah,
that's about it. That's about it.
exactly. I, like, check my calendar. I'm like, "Alright, what's on it today?"
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's pretty
Tell
much
me,
it.
Google, where I'm going.
Yeah, yeah.
So these codes, the Simon Regular, Simon Deluxe. So just put Simon's name in front of regular or deluxe. And those are good through tomorrow night at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time, because we're getting close to that switch, but we're not there yet. And the class is only available as the regular bundle without the stamp wheel or the deluxe bundle. So those are the two options. Oh, Rachel would like to know, do you like the trend of not using music in reels and stories?
Oh, well, I can let you in on a little inside secret. I like the sounds of the products, and I kind of think that like a minute long of a video, I'd rather hear the sounds of the products than hear a song for that whole time. But also, it's like advertiser friendly because we can't use a lot of different songs in the content, and so that's why I sort of stopped using music as much. Is because like you can sort of monetize on it on some platforms, but it sometimes gets flagged on other platforms. So this way I can upload it to everywhere and not get flagged for any copyright strikes or anything like that. So that's really the reason why you see a lot of creators not using sounds is just because sometimes the music can be like copyrighted and you can get in trouble for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Instagram catches that pretty quick. I've had that happen and I owned the music and I'm like, no, 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 no. I own
Yeah,
this music.
yeah, it's tough.
But I do love the sounds because I was watching some of yours. It was the Halloween one you made with like the Argyle
Mhm.
stencil, and it's like, and
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool as you're doing it. That I love. Like it sounds like superhero sounds, so it sounds like a superhero crafty video, which is very
yeah,
fun.
it's so fun. And there's a whole like category on YouTube where people do like ASMR videos and they make a lot of different sounds. And so I watched some of those and I was like, all right, we got to bring this into crafting. So that's sort of how it happened. But yeah, it works better too because of the advertising and stuff like that.
And so we can't use the codes together, guys. You can use one or the other. So Simon's is better because you get a little bit more off. So we want to use Simon's. And Simon also has, he had his affiliate link in there as well. So support Simon. Yay. Um, with that. So yeah, they do flag a lot of songs. They
Yeah,
get pretty quick.
exactly.
So what, What are you working on now? So you plan ahead. So what season are you planning for? Because that's going to be hard as a crafter, planning ahead and then creating for a season.
Yeah, right now I'm creating for product for next Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Um, so I try to do that right now because it like is Christmas time. So I try to like do it at the same time as next year. Um, and I'm making videos for Christmas this year as well, and sort of Halloween as well. I'm still gonna mix some of that in as well. But I like to always joke with my family that like for the next couple weeks I'm retired because because there's no more product releases coming out this year. And
Nice.
so, yeah, product releases are the more stressful part because those kind of have a deadline and things like that. So yeah, I'm retired for the rest of the year, which means I'm making videos and designing products, which is still a lot of work,
Yeah.
but it's only two of the jobs rather than having all three. So yeah, I'm retired.
It's nice your seasons line up though. So you're not like doing Valentine's while you're in making Christmas. That must be a hard mishmash if you have to do both of those at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm still working on some of the stuff for to fill in the rest of the year too, but then Christmas as well. So yeah, we try to work as far in advance as we can because the dies take a little bit longer than the stamps do, and so you gotta line up timelines and different companies and stuff. Working with Ranger and Spellbinders is like we gotta line everything up, so we do it a little bit further in advance so that if anything goes wrong, we've got a little bit of leeway there.
Now, what's your favorite season to design for?
Christmas for sure.
As we were talking about the snow people before, because he has a beautiful card behind him and a snowman or snow person. So
Mhm.
I was like, I assumed those were his favorites of the holidays. So do you have a lot of snow people in your creations for that season?
Yeah, I mean, so Christmas is my favorite to like decorate for, as you can see behind me with the florals too. You got some trees and the snowman behind me. So it's my favorite to decorate for. It's also my favorite just holiday in general. So that's I think why it translates to being my favorite thing to craft for too. And it really is such a great time, like a great excuse to give away a card as well. Like because Christmas cards, you know, you can send those to anyone around this time of season or a winter card or whatever. And I think that's just such a fun way to like say hello and kind of catch up with people you might not always kind of reach out to. But it also is my favorite because there's so many things that you could design, right? There's so many themes that go along with Christmas. And so, yeah, I like to design for Christmas a lot. There's a lot of fun stuff coming up for Christmas next year for sure.
There really is. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
unfortunately, my mailman's been here a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, we just came out with those snow globes with spellbinders. There's a lot. It's
It's
been really
positive, but it's not so good. It's good, but it's not so good on some of
yeah,
it.
yeah. This year we did Christmas. I did Christmas in July with Ranger, and I did Christmas at the end of the year with Spellbinders. So I tried to instead of doing two huge releases, do two at different times, so
So
that it's
you've been
a little.
creating Christmas since July.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy Toledo.
Well, we do Christmas in July, and then I take a break and I do like Halloween, like Thanksgiving stuff, and then I go, yeah, right back
Right
into
straight back.
Christmas. Yep. Right back into it.
Now, an important question because I try so hard at this, but I don't do it. Do you actually send out the cards that you make?
Yeah, I try to as much as I can. So, like, if friends in the industry have, an accomplishment or something, I always like to kind of send out cards or like reach out to people. I've been doing it more often this year, to be honest. I kind of didn't in the past, but I was like, you know what? Like, I've got all these cards. I've got some stamps. Let's get some of these cards going out. I know that scrapbook.com also has a really great initiative called Cards for Kindness, and you send in cards and they donate them as well to different places that need it. And sometimes even here, like I have such an excess of cards that I'll go to like nursing homes or places that need the cards and donate them there too, so they can use them. And so that like, so if you love making cards and you know that you're not going to send them, that's also a great thing to do is just like donate them to people who are going to need them and make them smile for sure.
Because yeah, I have boxes and I really want to. I even put them in envelopes and put them down, and that's as far as they go. So
Yeah.
I have to work on that. That's one of my things that I need to begin working on.
Yeah.
For the class, what would you tell a beginner and an advanced crafter why they should take this class?
Why should you take this class? I think for a beginner, there's going to be a lot of like, I really break things down. So
Yeah.
in all my videos and all my classes and stuff like that that you see, you're going to notice that like something might look a little bit extravagant. But when you break it down in steps, it's really easy. So even if you are a beginner and you've got the supplies in the kit, this should be a really great class for you. But then if you're more advanced too, really the exclusive products is one of my favorite parts about it as well. But you're going to also walk away with so much knowledge too. So you might know some of the things if you're more of an advanced crafter, but like crafting along with me and kind of finding out all about the stamp wheel and the exclusive products, I think is really amazing.
And I think if you're a beginner and you're really concerned about this being too advanced for you, please watch some of Simon's videos because, like he said, he really breaks things down really well. And I think that's too, like, one of the things for the advanced crafters is the way you break it down and do it may not be the way that they've been doing it, but it's a better kind of process. Or so I think that's the great thing too, is just because you explain things and break things down so well, I think even advanced crafters are really going to pick up a lot of tips in this class from you.
Right, yeah, there's a lot of little tips that I think a lot of people don't necessarily do in their everyday crafting, but like I craft every day, so I
Yep.
find out little things here and there that can be really helpful to explain. And also, yeah, like every step is broken down. If I bring out a tool, I'll explain why I use the tool. And if you're into something else, then you could use this sort of tool. And like you're gonna really figure out like step by step how to do everything. And so yeah, it's gonna be really great.
It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be fun, and again, these are recorded, so if you have to work that weekend or anything like that, there are pre-recorded classes. Those become available at midnight. So like the 8th at midnight, the class is available. The 9th, the 10th, those classes are available. The live will be December 10th at 1 Eastern time. So you can watch that and craft along, or you can watch it recorded later and ask questions if you have any. Again, the codes, just put Simon's name in front of it. So Simon regular, Simon deluxe. Yes, Jesse. Jesse said, I love the way you teach, Simon. You can always pause and back it up and go over it and over it again.
Thank you. Yeah. I know that some people say that it's a little bit fast sometimes. I try to go not too fast, but you can always watch it in a slower speed. But like there's a lot to fit in like a 40-minute video and I don't want to make it like 2 hours, you know. We don't want any Lord of the Rings like 2 hour movies here, right? So I try to keep it as like brief and concise as possible, but also include as much information as possible so that you can really learn from it. Like you said, go back and back over again if you mess something up or if you want to retry it. Yeah, you can keep watching over and over.
So Maxine asked, she's asking, she sees the circuit board. So it says right on, I just double checked the image to make sure. It says right on the image, that is a stencil, Maxine.
Can I show
So
the corner? Can I show the corner of the stencil?
absolutely. I think we have viewers that joined in today for the interview. So yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
And
it's a
that's
really cool
gonna,
stencil. Super
yeah,
cool.
it's amazing. And that, yeah, the second I saw that, I'm like, Simon. I
Yeah.
don't know. Whenever I see a geometric, I think of you. Do you think you use a lot of geometrics, or does that make sense, or are
Yeah.
you not
Yeah,
geometric?
this past year I've been designing with a lot of geometrics,
Okay.
really mainly because I just learned that like for me a lot of the stuff that I designed that was like really hand drawn and intricate is like fun, but it doesn't last the test of time. Whereas like geometric patterns you can use over and over and over. So I have been designing more with geometrics just because I know that I'm gonna, be able to keep using it for years and years.
Well, and the thing is too, it goes with anything. So you can
Mhm.
use the geometric on a sympathy card, a birthday card, a wedding card. I mean, there's really nothing you can't use a geometric on, which is great. Oh,
Mhm.
Roberta said you've gotten much better with talking fast, Simon.
Thank you, Roberta. I worked on it. I worked on it a lot. Sometimes if I get too excited, I'll talk like a little bit faster, like in live streams or something. But I used to teach at scrapbook.com live and in person. And so in this studio, you would have like two people and they'd be like, all right, Simon, repeat that again. That was way too fast. So because of teaching in front of people, you sort of learn then like the speed that you should actually be going at.
Yeah. But I'm
Okay.
with you. I get too excited. I'm like, let's
Yes.
craft.
Yes, exactly. You get too excited about it. Jeff Lindbergh is here. Hey, Jeff. Good to see you.
The prince is on. You're the prince. And somebody had asked, so the deluxe kit comes with the stamp wheel and the regular kit does not, because we know a lot of you have the stamp wheel and love the stamp wheel already. And this is just going to up your stamp wheel game. So
Mhm.
like you are going to be professional stamp wheel users after this. There's
Exactly.
lots of, it's going to be an amazing class. Definitely an amazing class. Oh, Anne said talking fast is a nerves thing. I do it too.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Charlene said the struggle is real.
Yeah,
Oh, Jeff's
totally.
arrives tomorrow.
Yay, Jeff,
Ooh.
that's awesome. That's so
So
exciting.
so
It really
Simon,
is
this
an amazing
since people
tool.
are getting packages, if
Mhm.
you sign up for an event, are you a team wait or are you a team I'm team rip the tape off at the mailbox. So which team are you on?
I'm team rip the tape off while it's in the mailbox. Like I'm like pull out your package and rip that thing open. It's awesome to be able to work with the supplies. Like even before class, if you want to like test some things out and stamp with some things, it's really fun to like be able to even know the products before your class starts. So if you want to get familiar with some of the stuff, definitely check it out. But if you're team wait, then you can always wait, until the class starts as well. But I'm team rip it open for
I'm
sure.
always amazed because we have unboxing events and we'll have one for this class too. For people wait to open their box for this event, and I'm like, wow, like
Yeah. That's some patience and some skill. Maybe like open up the tape, go through everything, and then like put it back in the box and tape it back up and pretend you'll get the same excitement the second time over.
so have you ever peeked at Christmas presents?
How about, probably when I was little, probably look under the tree or like look where like they hide the presents before they wrap them. But now definitely not. Now I don't really look.
So we have somebody asked what the price differences of the class. So right now the class will be $249 with 70 off if you need the stamp wheel. And if you don't need the stamp wheel, and the regular kit is $199 and you'll get 50 off with Simon's code. Remember, Simon regular, Simon deluxe. There is the add-on ink bundle as well. The all new colors that are in there are velvet, coral berry, let us celebrate. I love that name. Mid yellow, snapdragon, be grateful, and ride the wave. So that's an additional bundle you can get to go with the class. And we've paired that. We worked with Simon to match up the inks there. So yes. Oh, Rachel's team wait. Rachel's
Oh, nice.
and I think Jeff is peeking at Christmas presents because he said, heck yeah. And then there's presents. I
Oh
think Jeff's
yeah.
peeking at Christmas
You
presents.
gotta look at the Christmas presents. Or like look at if you like share an Amazon account, you gotta like look and see what people are ordering. Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And again, everybody, the coupons are good through tomorrow night. Simon has affiliate links that you can go through to help support Simon through this as well. And we are so excited and cannot wait. I can't believe how fast this is coming up. We started talking about it a few months ago and it's almost here now, which is very exciting.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
we will have an unboxing event for this that will be posted in the Facebook group, which basically we just kind of go through and look at the stuff. But I'm with Simon. Even if your team wait, it's good after the unboxing to kind of go through your materials. That kind of helps you when you watch the videos with Simon. You've used the stencils before, especially for the layering stencils. You've tried them out. You kind of know positions and stuff. That I think will be a lot. It's a helpful tip to go through classes, whether they're live or recorded. So just very exciting. And thank you so much for joining us, Simon.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Bridget. It was great to talk to you.
It's always fun because we have about the same energy level, I think. So
Yeah. We're both so excited about this. It's
like
great.
crafting, whatever it is, we're excited and in. It doesn't
Right.
matter. So
Exactly.
and thank you everybody for taking the time to join us. You got a little sneak peek of two things actually that are in the kit. So it's always good to join the interviews with the amazing instructor that we have. And we can't wait to see you in the class December 8th, 9th, and 10th. And live again will be on the 10th with Simon. So until then, my dear friends, I wish you happy crafting and thank you so much for allowing all of us to help you craft your life. And we'll
Yes.
see you all soon.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Bye.